Welcome back to Jersey Matters. I'm Larry Menti. We're in Fairfield, New Jersey, coming to you from Aqua Protec Laboratories. As you just heard in the interview a moment ago, there's a July 13th deadline when all of the school districts in New Jersey have to have their water tested for lead. So how are they doing? Well, from our phone calls, you would think they're not doing too well, but our Sherry Karabin went to several districts to find out.
Thank you, Larry. Efforts by the federal government to monitor and reduce lead in children's drinking water date back to the 1980s. However, until the New Jersey State Board of Education adopted the new rules, there was no regulation requiring New Jersey schools to test water samples for evidence of lead. Although the new law took effect last year, two of the school's superintendents that I spoke with said they started testing their water months earlier. They line the halls of our children's schools, but is the water in the fountains safe to drink? The New Jersey State Board of Education is hoping to have the answer to that question and others as public school districts complete mandatory lead testing of all water sources used for drinking and food preparation. The regulations, which also pertain to institutions like charter schools and some early learning centers, took effect on July 13, 2016, giving educators 1 year to complete testing. Districts are required to make the results public. North Bergen administrators didn't wait for the mandate. The school superintendent says news of contaminated drinking water in Flint, Michigan, prompted the district to start testing in the spring of 2016 to ensure student safety.
We found that it was just one water fountain in one of the schools, and we immediately closed that water fountain, and we replaced the water fountain over the summer.
While the problem water fountain at the John F. Kennedy Elementary School was addressed quickly, Salter says North Bergen offered free lead testing to all parents, something not required by the new regulations. The district is awaiting the results of a second round of tests done after the new regulations took effect.
Watch the children, during a school day. They're drinking, but in addition to that, they're using the bathrooms, they're using the cafeterias, using the food. So, we want to make sure that our children are safe and make sure that everything is healthy for them.
Over in Bayonne, administrators also got a jump start on testing, partnering with the Environmental Protection Agency in February of 2016, testing all 11 elementary schools, the food service kitchen, and the ice rink. Of the approximately 440 sources tested, 13 exceeded the EPA threshold of 15 parts per billion.
What we did is we remediated. If a fountain was no longer needed, we abandoned it. We cut it off, we didn't have to use it. EPA then came back and tested those 13 out of those 440 sites, and they were all within the acceptable range by the EPA. We've posted that on our website.
While 13 buildings are done, the assistant superintendent says the district still has to test its high school campus, which contains 2,700 students and 400 staff members. Administrators are in the process of identifying the various drinking sources, with testing expected to begin when school lets out. In the southern part of the state, the superintendent of the Swedesboro-Woolwich School District is giving its 4 schools a top mark after completing lead testing in February.
All of our testing passed. We did have 2 outlets that were not in use that tested above the level on the first test out of 151 samples. They were retested and they were fine within the limits. But just out of precaution, we did turn those outlets were not in use prior, and they were completely shut off and not in use now.
Still, this isn't the end of the testing story. Schools are required to repeat the process within 6 years of the initial testing and every 6 years thereafter. As for the additional costs, institutions can apply for reimbursement. This is Sherry Karabin reporting for Jersey Matters.